We are going to discuss about the position of women in ancient Indian society. Status of women in the early Vedic period. The women in Rigvedic period enjoyed high status in Indian society. They had the opportunity to attain high intellectual and spiritual education. Daughters were never ill-treated, although the male children were preferred. They received education like boys and went through the Brahmacharya discipline, including the Upanayana ritual. Women studied the Vedic literature, and some of them were the author, like Gargi, Maitri, etc., of Vedic hymns. There were no sati system or early marriage systems. They enjoyed the freedom in selecting their own life partners. Widows were permitted to remarry. However, marriage was a social and religious duty in Rigvedic period. Still, the women had the right to remain spinsters throughout their life. The women of this period had the economic freedom. Many of them were engaged in teaching professions. Spinning, weaving clothes, etc. were their common profession. In religious field, women regularly participated in religious ceremonies with their husbands. There were many women sages or rishis during this period. Women had rights to take part in debates in public assembly. They usually occupied a prominent place in social gatherings, but they were denied to enter to those places which were being used for gambling, drinking, etc. Status of women in later Vedic period. Position of women was started to deteriorate gradually in later Vedic period. Upanayana ritual became banned for women. In the field of property rights, women right became very much limited in inheriting property. Married daughters had no share in their father's property. They had only the control over the gifts and property received by the women of the time of her marriage. A widow was expected to lead an ascetic life. However, polygamy was prevalent in the society. Position of women during the period of Dharma sastras and Puranas. During the period of Dharma sastras and Puranas, the status of women gradually declined and underwent a major change. The girls were deprived of formal education. Daughters were regarded as second-class citizens. Freedom of women was curtailed. Sons were given more weightage than daughters. Girls were prevented from learning the Vedas and becoming brahmacharinis. Manu, the lawmaker of Indian society, gave the statement that women have to be under the guidance of her father during childhood, under the guidance of her husband during youth, and under the guidance of her son during old age. At no stage shall she deserve freedom. Due to various restrictions imposed on the freedom of women, some problems started creeping in. In the social fields, pre-puberty marriage came to be practiced, widow remarriage was prohibited, husbands were given status of god for women. Education was totally denied and the customs of sati became prevalent. Parda system came into vogue. Women in Buddhist period. The status of women improved a little during the Buddhist period. Though there was no tremendous change, some of the rigidities and restrictions imposed by the caste system were relaxed. Buddha preached equality and he tried to improve the cultural and educational and religious statuses of women. During the rule of benevolent kings like Chandragupta Maurya, Ashoka, Sriharsha, and others, women regained the lost part of their freedom and status due to relativity broad minded Buddhist philosophy. Women were not only confined to domestic work, but also they could resort an educational career if they desired. In religious fields, women came to occupy a distinctly superior place. They were permitted to the sannyasis. Many women took a leading role in Buddhist monastic life. The Buddhist Sangha was open to them as an avenue of cultural activities and social services and ample opportunities for public life. The political and economical condition of women, however, remained unchanged. Factors that caused the degradation of women. Some reasons behind the degradation of women in the post Vedic period are identified by some sociologists. Imposition of Brahminical austerities on the entire society, rigid restrictions imposed by the caste system and the joint family system, lack of educational facilities for the women, introduction of the non-Aryan wives in the Aryan household on foreign invasion. Thank you.